I want to revisit the fake Rabbinical Curse as put out by Professor Veith of Amazing Discoveries, who is part of the Seventh-day Adventist organization. I have 2 videos up showing what is nothing more than a hoax. That's exactly what it is. It is a hoax. Now I want to read to you the definition of what a citation is. When you read something and you cite it in a book and so forth, here's what the definition of a citation is. A citation is a quote from a source you have read in the course of your research and identified in the text of your own document. In other words, what it's saying is that when you quote a source, you're saying, I have read that information, and here's where you can find that information. Now then, let me read the quote given by Walter Veith in his video, where he calls it the Rabbinical Curse. And I quote, "May the bones of the hands and the bones of the fingers decay and decompose of him who turns the pages of the book of Daniel to find out the time of Daniel 9:24 through 27, and may his memory rot from off the face of the earth," end quote. Now then, as the definition of a citation says, I have read this material, and he gives the source himself. He says the source where I read this is Talmudic Law, page 978, section 2, line 28. The problem is, Veith, you know it as well as I, it doesn't exist. It's a hoax. Someone made this up, and all fingers point right back to you that you're probably the one who made this up. Now, apparently they've been having some problems with this. I found this on amazingdiscoveries.org, and I quote, "Some questions have been raised about the source of the Rabbinic Curse on Daniel 9 as quoted in our article, Christ in the 70 Weeks Prophecy, and by Professor Veith in his video, Just Another Man." Now listen to this. "Although we have not been able to locate the exact source used in his presentation, we do offer 3 sources that show the existence of such a curse," end quote. Although we have not been able to locate the exact source. Veith gave you the source. When he put the quote up the way he did, he says, I have read this material, and you can find it in the Talmudic Law, page 978, section 2, line 28. Just a quick question. Do you people at Seventh-day Adventists think everybody's brain dead, that they can't figure these things out? It's kind of like you're saying, well, you know, we've been caught in a lie. Veith has done dreamed this up, and he's quoting something that doesn't even exist. And so what we're going to do now is send you off on another wild goose chase on other unrelated things in some effort to show some validity to what he is saying. Do you think everybody's brain dead and can't trace this stuff down themselves? This is the way Seventh-day Adventists operate a lot of times. You know, if I can just put out one more question that you can answer, then I've got you pawned and you can't do anything about it. So anyway, the problem is when you say, although we can't locate the exact source, Veith gave you the source, and the source doesn't exist. Now then, they lead you to Sanhedrin 97b, which is in the Talmud. But it is quoted on Adventist Amazing Discoveries like this. Here's the way they quote it over there. And I quote, "A sage said, may the curse of heaven fall upon those who calculate the date of the advent of the Messiah and thus create political and social unrest among the people." Sanhedrin 97b. Now then, if you remember in one of my videos, I talked about these folios where the Talmud is written. You got 2 sides to it, side A and side B. So what they're saying is, in Sanhedrin, on side B, 97b, you can find the quote that I just read you. Wrong again. Let me read you from the Talmud 97b. And I quote, "Blasted be the bones of those who calculate the end. For they would say, since the determined time has arrived and he's not come, then he will not come." End quote. You go from one bad quote to another bad quote. I just read you what the Talmudic law says in the Sanhedrin. It is not the quote that you have up in here that you lead to some other source. And by the way, these three sources that they give me to trace down, why is it they lead to other Seventh-day Adventist material? Why do you lead me to Seventh-day Adventist material to prove what a Seventh-day Adventist has said? Anyway, what they don't understand is this. What I quoted you out of 97b of Sanhedrin, and let me read you something that I found, and I put this website up so you can look at it. It's The Messianic Idea of Judaism by Dr. Jafar Hadi Hassan, and I quote, "And because of the influence of the Messianic idea and the Jewish people, particularly after the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in 70 AD, there were many attempts by Jews, rabbis, mystics, and others to find out about the time of the Messiah's advent, despite the warning of the Talmud against it, which says, 'May the bones of the calculator of the end rot.'" End quote. What y'all don't realize is saying is this. It is basically talking about what William Miller and Ellen White did in predicting the return of Jesus Christ. Don't go try to calculate the return of Jesus Christ. It can confuse people. It can cause social unrest. It can cause people to lose faith that he's even coming at all. So it is warning against what William Miller and Ellen White did in predicting the return of Jesus Christ. And yet you want to carry me to a source that says, oh, we can't find the source, but yet Veith is the one that gave the source, and lead me to other websites as though they're going to prove it, and these other websites are Seventh-day Adventist as well. As one of my viewers put up in my video, and I quote a comment he made, not that I have to prove the Rabbinic Curse anymore because it doesn't exist, but just to add this to it. Here's a quote from one of my viewers in a comment he made. "The Talmud was completed by the end of the 6th century, and verse numbers for scriptures did not show up until the 13th century. So how could the Talmud refer to specific chapters and verses when they were not even defined yet?" You know, if the Catholic Church is as bad as you people keep trying to make it out to be, why do you have to make up all this stuff and then try to hide it? And you wonder why I question the honesty of any Seventh-day Adventist member? What tiny webs we weave when at first we practiced to deceive. Till next time, this has been Golly saying, God bless.